Hello everyone, welcome back once again to this new tarot reading. This time I'm going to continue or resume an 80s tarot reading about the individual members. I had recently done one about Mingi because he's the one that is momentarily absent of the group, so I wanted to check on him to see how he's doing. And um so it was my intention to keep doing all the other members, but somehow I started doing other readings and I forgot. So now that I'm here, I'm going to continue with Junho. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, um, but if I don't, please educate me in the comment section because, and I know I have seen the other names, and I believe that him, um, San, and Jongho are the easiest ones to pronounce because then the others are a little bit like longer names, so I believe that I'm going to struggle a little bit. But yes, this is Junho, Junho's turn. So I believe he's because my bias is Jongho actually, the vocalist, and him and Junho are my biases. I believe so far. I'm not. I'm not entirely an 18, but I'm trying to be. So I believe these tarot readings will guide me a little bit into their energy to get to know them um, more profoundly as persons and as people, and not so much as artists, which they are amazing. So let's start with the archetype cards that came out for him. I remind you that the way I use it, it's the archetype. I start with the archetype cards because they talk about personality traits in a very general basis, but it talks about like kind of psychological side of the person, so their shadows and their light aspects. So we're going to be diving a little bit so we can get to know him a little bit. In my case, that I don't know anything about them, is a good experience. And then the other cards that are laid out next are the tarot cards, that these are going to be also like a very general reading that is going to be presenting like the scenario for the next 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it's 3 to 4 months. It depends on how the events developed or at what stage he's in. I just read what is really prominent and visual, like important in his life right now. So it sometimes there are things that I mentioned that haven't occurred yet, but some of them do develop earlier, some of them take time. So it's that's why I always say it's from 3 months period to 6 months from now, uh, but it doesn't take that long. So in the case of Junho, the archetype cards that came out, it's Chameleon, Adventure, and Goddess. So when we think about the Chameleon card, it talks about the ability to be flexible enough um, to understand that everything is about changing and everything is about transforming yourself. So it's like you're also someone that is really eager to change, to transform, to change your skin, to become something different every time, and to sometimes learn new ways of doing things, and being original, because sometimes when you have the archetype of the chameleon, it's like you are very curious in nature, so you tend to like maybe get bored easily. Maybe if they give you like a concept, it's like you want to be in constant change, because it's like you get bored of playing always the same role. So I believe he has this ability um of always being like having a lot of adaptability. It's like he's one of those artists that when wherever like new concept, dance, wardrobe, everything you propose to him, he's eager to take it. It's like for him it's really fun. Actually, he I have the feeling that he's really fun, almost like a childlike, like a child. I know he's an Aries with a moon in Gemini, and they say that his rising is a Scorpio, so I don't know if that's accurate actually, but I have seen a few of their birth charts, all of them. And having that combination in the sun and the moon sign, it means that he's like a happy child. He's really happy. He's really bright. It's not it's Sometimes Aries people tend to be like a little bit like aggressive when it comes to getting what they want. It's like they don't have patience. But I believe that in his case, since he has a moon in Gemini, he's a little more like flexible, and he's a little more like playful. It's like he wants to have fun. He wants to like make people laugh or make people like enjoy themselves. He's not an structured person at all. He's very um he's very optimistic also. Uh but yes, he's very passionate about learning new things, because I have the feeling that his span of attention is not very long, or is not very consistent. So if you don't give him something to do, he will go crazy and he will start to get annoyed. And that Aries part of himself will start to come out, because he's like I have the feeling that he is very hyper hyperactive, that he likes to move around a lot. So, and that also happens to his mind. Maybe he can be like sitting still, but his mind is running like really fast. He has a lot of thoughts, he has a lot of ideas. Probably he's a good communicator. He likes to talk, he likes to have a conversation. He likes to communicate with others. He's really friendly also. But really nice. He gives me really nice vibes. Really like playful, very young, very like. I have the feeling of I keep feeling this like childlike. He's very childlike. I believe that uh, as time passes, as time goes by, he will become even more in touch with his inner child, and he will become even more like. Some people may think it's immature, but actually he enjoys being that way. It's a trait of him. He likes to have fun. He doesn't like to take things too seriously. um, and then we have the adventure archetype. That the adventure archetype, it's, as the name implies, it's someone that is like he believes in justice for all, and he's someone that is very eager to stand up for others. He's that someone that at times points out things that are unfair in his point of view, and he's not afraid to be outspoken about it. to be like, oh yes, an issue here, or I don't think this is right, or I think this is not okay. He is very verbal about it. He's not ashamed to to be able to communicate when things aren't or doesn't seem fair to him. uh, Especially when he likes to consider others. So when he feels like maybe someone is like, I don't know, giving an speech or giving like indications or something like that, and they are not like considering everyone or like everyone involved or the group, he gets really annoyed and he gets really angry about it a little bit, and he will speak about it, he will talk about it, he will be like, no, this is not right because I don't know, maybe this person is not present, but we should respect that person anyway. So he has this ability to consider others and to speak up for others, especially if he feels that this person may be a little bit shy or maybe like an introvert, or somehow they are not able to stand up for themselves. He will be that person that will take that responsibility of speaking up, um, because he believes in justice, and also he believes that uh, we all deserve opportunities. And he is very observant in that sense. He knows that there are people that don't have the same um, opportunities to speak up because somehow they don't have self-esteem, or they are fearful, or they just don't feel confident enough to speak up. So since he's really bright in that sense, and he's really spontaneous, it's easier for him to sometimes point out or speak about subjects that maybe, if you I'm not saying he's privileged, but this has a lot to do with the next card, with the last card that came out for him, that is Goddess. So when I saw the card of Goddess, uh, the first thing I thought was uh, pretty boy. And in a sense that the Goddess archetype, it's a female archetype, but a male can also get it, so it's not gender specific. And being a goddess actually is owning your own beauty and being like beautiful, but it's like, and also being like really comfortable in your skin. And not also, it's not about the looks, it's not about how you look physically, it's more about how you exude this kind of beauty, this confidence in your skin. This, it's like you're really uh, harmonious. It's like you are really beautiful, but in a very profound way. And it's like it's not just about the looks. It's about you have some kind of presence, that your beauty is somehow out of this world, and it's someone that is really in tune with their own sensuality. They're really sensual, so they are really comfortable in the skin, and it's like they know that they are attractive, and they know that they can use this power to inspire others. So that's why I was thinking about the adventure. um I was thinking that in almost every society or culture, when you are handsome, or when you have good looks, somehow you have a kind of privilege to be able to get more opportunities, or to be able to be heard, to be able to be seen, to be able to be considered. So I believe that sometimes when you had always been considered handsome or attractive, it's like somehow you have more you're more confident in the sense that you know that people will take very well or at least they will take what, or they will have like a certain consideration for you. So that's what I believe, that the adventure also comes into play, because as I was saying, he likes to speak up for others. And sometimes when you have self-esteem issues and when you don't feel strong enough to speak up about, I don't know, mistreatment or lack of opportunities, um, sometimes being pretty or being considered attractive gives you that opportunity to sometimes speak up, and sometimes to um, um, being able to talk about issues that not all attractive people do it, but in this case he uses this privilege that he has to be able to speak for people that don't consider themselves attractive enough. Because I have the feeling that this has a lot to do with physical appearance, or what is considered attractive in in their culture. I believe this has to do about it. I believe he gets really upset when someone, like I don't know, make a comment, or said something negative about someone's looks, or about someone's appearance. It's like it really upsets him when people are shallow, or when people are really like that they want to make others feel like they are not beautiful, or that they are not beautiful enough, or that they are ugly. And he just feels triggered by that. Because he knows that in his condition he's lucky enough to have always been considered pretty, and to always have been considered like really good looking. Even when he was a child, since he was a child, he was always praised by his look. But somehow he somehow he likes to have friends, or to have build friendships with people that are a little bit shy, or are like introverts, or maybe people that um, are not that confident. So he likes to meet different kinds of people. So he was really upset when someone, for example, says something not so nice about a friend of his. Um, because he knows that that looks are not that important. I mean, that looks doesn't define a person's value, a person's heart. And he really hates when people make comments about just basing on looks, like, oh, just being not being not being considerate to others. I believe that, but there's something about uh, physical appearance comments that he really um, gets triggered about it. I don't know if maybe in his family he has like somehow like a family member that was like bullied because of the way they look. So he somehow has some like close experience with that, that it didn't happen to him, but it did affect him. It's like it happened to someone that he loved. So he gets really triggered because of that experience, and he doesn't want anyone to go through that. So the tarot cards that came out for him, it's the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Cups, Justice, Three of Cups, Six of Six of Cups, and Five of Cups. A lot of cups. So he's really emotional right now. There's something about his emotional world that is not actually. I don't see that it's about the profession. I don't see that it's about the group. I believe he feels emotionally, he feels a little bit drained. He feels a little bit like lonely. I believe that they have a lot of work to do, and somehow he either misses his family a lot, he feels really lonely sometimes, or he feels homesick. He wishes he could go back to his house just a little for a little bit, not it's like a thought, like an instant thought that sometimes comes to his mind when he feels a little bit nostalgic. And yes, he feels lonely. There's something about, I don't know if it's about a female. It's about someone that he really likes. There's a woman, because this Queen of Cups came up. There's this woman that is a little bit older than him, Enuna, that he really likes, that he feels, because you have the Page of Cups, and also like the Ace of Cups. So he's like really like, I believe he's really spontaneous when it comes to how he feels romantically. It's like he is really um it's like he can wake up one day and realize that he's in love with someone. It's like he's like really like fast in that sense. It's like it's not that the feelings develop with time. No, he just wakes up and he's already in love. He's he's that he's that determined. Um, and he somehow he likes, he cannot see this person, or he cannot. It's like he wished things would go faster. Because I believe he doesn't also, he's not very patient when it comes to how he feels. So if he feels something, somehow he has the urge to do something about it, or to speak about it. And sometimes he even makes a fool of himself, because it's like he exposes himself um, really fast, and he doesn't consider whether the other person feels the same or not, because he's so caught up in his own emotions that he's like, oh, if I love her, she must love me too. Something like that. So he's really like naive in that sense. He's really innocent in that sense. So that's why sometimes he feels, sometimes he goes back to sleep or something like that, and he cannot stop thinking about, he feels a bit like, he feels like a fool sometimes, but and he gets really upset with himself, because it's like he cannot contain himself. It's like whenever he's around someone that he likes, he gets really like anxious, and he gets anxious and awkward, and sometimes he starts talking. He starts, because I believe he's really like verbal. He likes to talk, and when he's nervous, he talks even more. He's like uh so it's like it's not easy for him to hide his emotions, or to hide how he feels. So he doesn't know how to put like a poker face. So he sometimes makes a fool of himself, and he knows it. He knows that whenever he feels his heart starts racing, he knows that it's over for him. That he would probably make a fool of himself. So he's like, he really wants to hold himself back. He doesn't want to act like that, because actually this tendency of him being like really like into his feeling, and being like not patient, sometimes it scares the other person away. But it's not because they are scared of him. It's just that they don't understand him. They don't know why he all of a sudden is interested in them. It's like it's because it happens so fast that you don't know uh, what his intentions are. Because sometimes when men come too strong, it's like sometimes it's a little overwhelming for the other part, because it's like, yes, maybe you like that person, you like that person back, but maybe for you, you take your time slowly. So it's a whole process for you to get to know someone and realize if you really are that interested. So him putting all his heart out just in one date, for example, is like too much for the other person, especially because I see the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is really sensitive, and it's really it's someone that is really connected with her intuition. So, and is really sensible. So she doesn't like someone that is, I wouldn't say he's pushy, uh, but he's a bit much. He's like a bit intense, and he's like he has like a lot of like um it's like he's like, oh yes, let's go, and maybe the other person is still considering it. So for her it's like, no, let me wait. Yes, we are still friends, but it's like she friends on him somehow. And he's really triggered by that. He's like really upset. He gets really triggered because he doesn't understand what he does wrong. Um, and somehow he is like he talks to himself a lot, and he's like, oh, you shouldn't be like that. But he cannot help himself. It's like whenever he's in front of that person, the person he likes, he's like he is all emotions. So he doesn't realize that sometimes that can be a little bit like that he comes too strong, and he doesn't know. So maybe this person is like, oh yes, let's wait a little bit. I don't think the timing is right. We should go slowly. um or maybe she is busy with other things in her life, so she's not it's not that she's not into him, it's just that she maybe had gone through a breakup recently, or maybe like some kind of like disappointment in her love life. So she's very distrustful in that way. She has a lot of ghosts in her past, so that maybe that's why she's not ready yet to be able to be receptive to Junho, the way he wants her to be, because he's really open and willing to give her his heart, and she's like really hesitant. She's like, I don't know, because she got hurt in the past. So it's not about him, it's about her experience. So, and I don't know if maybe she has like an ex partner that somehow is like a little bit like a stalker, or keeps sending her messages like making her feel bad or saying negative things to her. So sometimes somehow that affects her also. So she doesn't feel confident enough yet to be able to get into a new relationship. And she's also intimidated by the fact that he's an idol. She's a really beautiful woman, but at the same time she doesn't feel that way inside of her. She has a lot of insecurities. So, or maybe she's a little bit shy, so it's going to take a while for her to really make up her mind. And I don't know if Junho is going to be patient enough, because yes, he have all these feelings, and he is like inviting her to to love him, but at the same time, it's going to take a while for her. So we'll see if he is patient enough. Um, Maybe he will move on to someone else. I don't know, because it's like I said, whenever he feels like he starts feeling for someone, he um he's really innocent in that sense. It's like he feels that if he starts feeling for you something, you must feel it too. And sometimes he doesn't understand that we are not the same, sometimes that we are not all the same. So I believe that in the next 6 months he's going to be like a little bit like not happy about it, but he's going to concentrate more on the group, and he's going to be really busy. So he's going to concentrate into building like a strong relationship with the members and relying on the members a lot. I believe that he whenever he feels lonely, the members are always there whenever he feels nostalgic. So, but yes, because the last card that came out for him is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about insatisfaction. It's about not seeing the possibilities that are presented to you. So maybe, I don't know, he will accomplish some things in a professional way, but somehow in the emotional side of his life, he feels unsatisfied. He feels uh, he does not feel completed. He feels like there's something lacking, and he really wants like he wants to be in love. I don't know why, because he feels he feels like he's really far away from his loved ones. So somehow he has this fantasy that him being in a relationship somehow can cure this loneliness that he has. That's why he's really he wants to be in love, because he feels that maybe if he's in love he will stop thinking about uh, that he's lonely. He just wants to have that in a stable emotional support. But and he has it with the members, and he has it with, but he somehow needs more. He needs someone that can be really supportive of him, and can be really loving towards him, and can always like tell him really like loving words and saying that they love him. And he wants that experience for him. He wants to have a romantic partner. He's thinking about it a lot. So in this state of really wanting it, somehow he's looking, maybe he's a little bit blindsided, and he's like a little bit desperate, like looking for the possibility, and somehow he doesn't contemplate that maybe when you want to start a relationship with someone, or when you want to get involved with someone, you have to consider that the other part has to be as willing as you, and has to be as available emotionally as you. So he has to learn, he has to mature a lot in that sense, because he's been a little bit reckless about how he proceeds. He's acting like a teenage boy, in that hormonal sense. He's acting by his passion. He's like being active, looking for it, but he doesn't know that sometimes that kind of emotional connection that he wants takes a lot longer to build. That this does not build overnight. That this is not something that you wake up one day and yes, you're already in a relationship, you're in love, you're committed, you're connected. No, it takes time. And also it's really would be really wise for him to not idealize some or put on a pedestal that person that he's interested in romantically, because somehow he gets blinded by love, and he somehow thinks that the person he's interested in is the most wonderful person ever, and actually sometimes that person is not that good for him. So I believe that he will face a few disappointments in this searching for love, because actually there's something about him that heal first, especially when it comes to self-esteem, and not rely so much on, oh, because I'm going to be in a relationship, I'm going to be okay. No, it's not about that. But it's something that he has to go through himself. I mean, we all have go through, especially when we are in our early 20s. I don't know how old is he, but when we are like young adults, we often um, uh, go through this experience. So it's not something that it's just happening to him. No, it's something that is normal about growing up and about opening your eyes to the world and sometimes becoming vulnerable to others, just to experience that maybe the other person does not feel the same or is not like we thought they were. So yes, it's a period of disappointment, but it's also a period of a lot of growth, and he needs to go through this. So guys, I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please, if you do, please give it a like, because I've seen that it has a lot of views, but somehow nobody puts a like on it. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue. I believe that maybe today I will upload the next member that is going to be the leader of the group. So we will be talking about him as well. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.